Welcome to Catholic News World.
Welcome to Catholic News World. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Steph. Here are this week's breaking news headlines.
Simone Biles, a 24-year-old Catholic gymnast, captain of the USA Olympic women's gymnastics team and one of the most celebrated American gymnasts of all time, with a total of 32 medals from the Worlds and Olympics, made a wonderful comeback in the Tokyo Olympics, winning both a silver and bronze medal. Earlier she withdrew from the team competition after competing on both the vault and floor due to the twisties, a type of mental block encountered by gymnasts. She explained the need to give attention to her mental well-being, which can affect complex maneuvers in this dangerous sport. To reporters she said, "I have to put my pride aside. I have to do what's right for me and focus on my mental health and not jeopardize my health and well-being. That's why I decided to take a step back." Simone revealed that she was also dealing with the recent death of her aunt while in Tokyo. Despite these, Simone Biles has soared above all sorts of difficulties that she has had in life. She prays before competitions and lights a candle to Saint Sebastian, the patron saint of athletes. In her book, Courage to Soar, she writes of her confirmation day, "I marched into St. James the Apostle Church that Sunday in a line of teenagers with solemn faces. In a way, our procession reminded me of a medal ceremony, except that no gold, silver, and bronze medals would be given out. Instead, our prize would be something much more powerful. In a few moments, each of us would bow our heads to receive the holy sacrament of confirmation." When she was younger, she explained that she would often pray the rosary given to her by Mom. The Catechism explains, "Life and physical health are precious gifts entrusted to us by God. We must take reasonable care of them, taking into account the needs of others and the common good. If morality requires respect for the life of the body, it does not make it an absolute value. It rejects a neo-pagan notion that tends to promote the cult of the body, to sacrifice everything for its sake, to idolize physical perfection and success at sports." Simone Biles was born in Ohio. Her mother was battling drug and alcohol abuse, and therefore, at age 3, Simone was taken away from her mother. Her grandparents in Texas adopted Biles and her younger sister. During her gymnastic career, she also suffered abuse from Lawrence Nassar, who for 18 years was the team doctor for the U.S. women's national gymnastics team. He sexually abused hundreds of girls and young women. In the face of these traumas, Simone Biles continues to shine. Her team won the silver medal at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. She later also won bronze, her 7th Olympic medal, in the individual balance beam event. "The bronze means more than all the golds because I've been through so much the last 5 years and the last week while I've even been here. It was very emotional," she said on NBC's Today Show. Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone of San Francisco defends Pope Francis' document on the Latin Mass. Archbishop Cordileone writes, "In response to a request from a group of the faithful in the Archdiocese of San Francisco in June, I agreed to allow a monthly First Wednesday celebration of the traditional Latin Mass in the Cathedral of St. Mary of the Assumption. The request having been received and granted before the issuance of Pope Francis' motu proprio, Traditionis Custodes, the first of the monthly Masses was celebrated on July 7, the 14th anniversary of Pope Benedict XVI's motu proprio, Summorum Pontificum. Since Pope Francis issued Traditionis Custodes, I have been grieved by certain disrespectful responses. Some have even included slanderous attacks on the pontiff. I support Pope Francis, and his concern that those who are drawn to more traditional forms of Catholic worship also affirm the validity of the Novus Ordo form of the Mass and, indeed, of the Second Vatican Council itself. As the visible head of the Church, the Pope has a global vision of Church life and can perceive things that we cannot from our more local perspective. I also support the other concern Pope Francis articulates in his accompanying letter to the bishops, but has been overlooked by many in these recent discussions, his denouncing widespread liturgical abuses. Such abuses have been condemned by various levels of Church leadership for decades now, yet, they continue. In addition to satisfying the legitimate desires of some Catholics, then, the traditional Latin Mass can also serve as a reference point to enhance the celebration of the Novus Ordo Mass. Pope Francis is concerned with preserving unity. While celebrations of the traditional Mass will continue, The focus on unity must always be before our eyes in every celebration of the Mass, in whichever form or rite. Pope Francis made an appeal for Lebanon 1 year after the port explosion in Beirut after his audience at the Vatican. In these days, I think especially of the beloved country of Lebanon a year after the terrible port explosion in its capital, Beirut, with its toll of death and destruction. I think above all of the victims and their families, the many injured, and those who lost their homes and livelihoods. So many people have lost the desire to go on. During the day of prayer and reflection for Lebanon last 1st of July, together with Christian religious leaders, all of us listened to the hopes and aspirations, the frustrations and weariness of the Lebanese people, and we prayed for God's gift of hope to overcome this difficult crisis. Today I would also appeal to the international community to offer Lebanon concrete assistance, not only with words but with concrete actions in undertaking a journey of resurrection. It is my hope that the current international conference hosted by France with the support of the United Nations will prove productive in this regard. Dear Lebanese friends, I greatly desire to visit you and I continue to pray for you, so that Lebanon will once more be a message of peace and fraternity for the entire Middle East. Agenzia Fides reported that the bishops of the Democratic Republic in Congo condemned recent thefts and attacks on a dozen churches and a diocese in the Kasai region. The targets of the attacks included the Cathedral Saint Jean-Baptiste de Benzola in Mbujimai and the parish churches of Saint Amand, Saint Bernadette and Kalongo, Saint Vincent de Paul d'Enquati, Christ Roi de Kansansa and others. Monsignor Kasanda has asked for extremely exemplary, firm and rapid condemnations against the perpetrators. For almost 4 months, the churches in Kasai, the region from which the Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi comes, have been subjected to progressive and systematic desecration. Tabernacles, sacred vessels, altar stones and cloths, furniture and statues of the Sacred Heart Jesus and the Virgin Mary were stolen, denounced the bishop. Meanwhile, a spokesman for the provincial government confirmed that Bishop Kasanda had provided the police with some information to help them find the stolen sacred objects. In this context, he pointed out that both deviants within the church and fetishists who believe that they can consolidate their alleged power by taking possession of the sacred things of the Catholic Church are possible perpetrators for the desecration.
Watch our programme every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Catholic News World channel. God bless.
Please subscribe to Catholic News World's YouTube channel. Thanks and God bless.